go back to our paper reviewers listening to that in the studio. Joanna, what did you think? Let's just revert back, if we can, very briefly to the sort of the argument given from Labour about Partygate to say, look, we're the party of integrity. We say we'll practice what we preach. If Sir Keir is found to be fined, he'll resign.
Unfortunately, I think there was a huge contradiction in what Annalise Dodds was saying there, because she began by saying the Labour Party, like the rest of the country, really want to move on from this. Well, I agree with that completely. But then she says the problem is we can't move on because Boris Johnson refuses to accept responsibility. So what she seems to be saying is we're kind of going to say we want to move on, but at the same time we're going to carry on talking about this an awful lot. And I think, moving on means just you have to draw a blank slate over this now. We have to start talking about the cost of living crisis. And, I do think Keir Starmer has got himself into a hole over this. I think he's made these statements. He's come out as if this is the most important thing. I actually think, a lot of people look at it and just think, Keir, you're so stuck up yourself, you're so boring. He comes across as this kind of moralistic vicar type of person, and I don't see how this plays well with the electorate who do want to move on, I think, and start talking about all the really, really important things that are going on in the world.
But you don't accept the point that he's a man of, and a lot of people think he's a man of principle, because if he is fined, he will step down.
The problem is you can say you're a man of principle, but I think if he was a man of principle and somebody who was wanting to take responsibility for this, it wouldn't have had to have been wheedled out of him every step of the way. Was Angela Rayner present? How many people were present? Was there other restaurants open at the time? Did work continue afterwards? And it's like every step this story has had to be, it's been like extracting teeth at the dentist to get to the bottom of what happened in Durham, which is, it's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And you could certainly say that was absolutely the same for Boris Johnson and Downing Street. I mean, you could say that was even more the case for Boris Johnson and Downing Street. But the difference is it's taking so much time to get this story out of Keir, and yet he's standing there saying, oh, but I'm a man of integrity.
Just very quickly, I can hear Kevin itching to get...
Well, I just think it's very early in the day. I didn't really want to talk about this story again, but Joanna, bringing sort of commentary into the gutter, calling a national leader moralistic and comparing him to a vicar. I mean, if we go down that route, what do we end up saying about Boris Johnson? I'm not going to rise to that. And I think the most important thing for listeners and viewers is there will be, I'm telling you now, there'll be a U-turn on this, and that lower income households are going to have a lot of money coming back into their pockets because the politics of the windfall tax are irresistible.
Well, Kevin and Joanna, thank you very much. Interestingly, we heard earlier from Youth Vote UK that said in terms of young people, they've lost confidence in both parties. Do get in touch with your views, particularly on what Annalise Dodds had to say. John, very good morning to you. Agrees with Joanna, totally agree with Joanna. The stupid COVID rules should never have been put in place. That's what people should be angry about, not a cake. Well, you can join the discussion as well. GBNEWS at gbnews.uk.